Well, you finally get to see my layout. The trouble is, it's a little too short. So we're going to extend it coming up right now on JC's Riptrack. Hi there, my name is John and welcome to JC's Riptrack. If you're looking for tips and advice on how to transform your plastic models into something that you would see on the rails today, then please hit subscribe and that little bell icon so you can be notified anytime I upload a new video. Well, we're taking a break from the weathering desk and actually get to see up top. My weathering desk is this area below my train table, so you can see here, this is the start of my layout. It's a 36 by 80 hollow core door, and as you can see, I've got stuff on it, including an approximate track layout of what I'm going to be doing. The difficulty is, when I was putting this together and I sort of settled on a layout, I realized that this end of the layout was actually going to be too short. I needed to extend where this track goes around so that I would actually have room for buildings and scenery, rather than just simply having track all smashed into one place. Now I'll give you a tour of the layout plan. So this is my layout. I'm calling it the Truro Junction, and it's set at the junction point in Truro, Nova Scotia, which is the joining point for the Cape Breton Central Nova Scotia Railway and the main CN line that runs between Halifax, Nova Scotia and Moncton, New Brunswick, or really the rest of Canada and North America. So this is kind of layered over itself, and this is what I had to do the expansion on. You can see just down in this corner is where my starting point. My starting point is actually, I'm just going to focus in on this a little bit more. Specifically, I'm looking at this area right here, because this is what the benchwork I've built for this. And as you can see here, I have a yard just planned out. And there's both the yard lead that comes around on this side that also happens to lead into some industries in Truro itself, as well as this blue line here that circles back on itself is the Cape Breton Central Nova Scotia line that will eventually move out. Now, what I had to do here is originally just in this area right here where it ended, what I realized that there was not enough space for industries here in terms of this building right here, as well as the scrapyard here. Curiously enough, there is a scrapyard in downtown Truro, so that is one of the industries that I'm going to have here. This, I'm starting with a hollow core door. This is stage one, and then I'm going to be moving around the back and just over into this this alcove here eventually as part of what I'm doing for my layout. But the first priority is to actually get this part, at least at minimum, started, and we can go from there. And I put this table up about a year ago, and I've been contemplating it ever since, and the realization is it's 6 inches too short. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start by extending this, and we're going to see this over in a few stages. But what I've done is I've extended using, as you can see through here, I'm using an L-girder format, and what I plan on doing is I made these extensions, and I'm going to be sliding them in, and that's what you're going to see me do today, is extend this out, and then I have a frame that I'm going to be putting on the top of that, and that's part of these next stages. So, without further ado, we're going to be gluing this into here, just like that, and then tacking it into place. And so that's what you're going to see me. That's what I'm going to do now. And so I have my safety goggles on. I have my gloves on because I'm going to be using a brad nailer for this, and I'm just going to be putting a little bit of carpenter's glue. Just put a little bit of carpenter's glue there, and then just move it in. Notice there's a reason why there's a reason why you don't see me do a lot of construction work, because, well, I suck at it. And yet, it's still something that, if I'm going to be doing this, it's something that needs to be done. And so, I'm just taking a couple of clamps, holding it into place. However, I need to tack it, and that's where my brad nailer comes in. And I'm just using some very short 5/8 roughly 5/8 of an inch nails here, and we're just going to simply move them in and just going to tack it with a couple of nails. And this might be a little overkill. And there we go. Now, I just like to remove the nails here, just as a matter of safety. Normally I disconnect it from the air right away. Because I'm moving into the next one right away, I can simply take those off, grab the glue, and again you can see how I'm doing this. I'm just using this carpenter's glue here. Don't need very much of it at all. And then there we go. And again, just simply putting in with the brad nailer, 5/8 of an inch. Again, probably overkill, but that's all I needed to do. So with that, I've got the frame built, and just in a moment or two, you're going to see how I handle the frame. There's a couple of adjustments that I need to do, but that's how I'm going to handle it today. All right, now that I've finished tacking these into place and gluing them on, the glue is still drying, but it should be in place. The next thing is that I had actually built. I may have extended it, but I also have created this this frame right here, and the frame is just to simply sit right on top of these L girders, and that extends the table. Now, normally to top this off, I probably would have used, say, like 1/4 inch plywood or something like that, but instead I'm using this 1/8 of an inch MDF board. Normally you don't want to use MDF board too much because it can bend and warp if it gets too wet. So I want to be careful with that. But because I have the frame here, this is what I'm looking for. The hitch is I can't actually I can't use it because there's a 1/8 of an inch lip here that would actually make my life a little difficult. So what I want to do is before just simply nailing this, gluing and nailing this into place, what I am going to be doing is I am going to be needing to reduce this. So I'm actually going to use a router that is going to take off about this distance off the bottom here, and it'll have two effects. It'll help these boards seat nicely, give it a little bit more strength, and it will have the effect of making this level with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clamp this into place. Now remember, there is a reason why you don't see me doing too much of this, because this is just my blog. This is my Steve Brown moment of just figuring stuff out, and then just kind of locking that into place. And then I'm just going to simply take a pencil and mark underneath here. So now that I have these areas marked, what I'm going to do is just use a finishing router to kind of just finish this out, get this right, so I can seat this into place. And once I do that, I can then tack it down on top, and then I've got my 6-inch extension. Alright, I'm just back in from the garage. You really don't want to see me using a router, so that is best left off of film. So I intentionally didn't film that. But what I have done here is you can sort of see it that I've carved out a notch here that is on each of the boards that is the right depth to make it fit. And here's just how that test fit in, and just drops in there quite nicely. And then I can actually put the piece of MDF right on top of it. And as you can see, it's level. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And so what's left now is to just glue it in place. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this into place, but I'm going to hold off on gluing this down at least for the moment. Probably come back to do that tomorrow, but I want to get at least this part in, and it's fairly straightforward. That what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running a bead of glue along the back here, and then along the bottom parts here, and then putting it into place, clamping it, and then tacking it into place using the brad nailer. So the first things first, let's just get that bead of glue on there. Again, you don't necessarily need a lot. I just need enough because the brad nailer isn't necessarily gonna hold it. So just a little glue there and there in the notches. Just making sure I don't get glue in my brand new. There we go. Again, that's got the proportions the way that I want it. Now I'm going to clamp it. There we go. All right, so that's kind of holding that in place there, and then now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the using the brad nailer again. This time I'm going to use some slightly longer nails. What I really like about this particular brad nailer here is that I can actually see what I'm using, and then I can actually put in the longer nails in front of it. And if I'm going to use the shorter ones, I can certainly do that. So first things first, so I'm going to just simply come up underneath and tack it on there and one there, making sure that it's in place. You don't need very much. So this comes in again just underneath, and one more right about there. So that's in place here, but now I'm also going to do from, as you can see from the top here, I'm actually going to drive a couple of brads just in and across the top here, just to make sure that they're secured into the edge of the door. Oops. There we go. All right, so now that that is that's tacked into place, I can then just disconnect that from the air. Whoops. And then this is nicely in place. And as I said, I'm not going to secure the MDF onto it yet, but I am going to put it into place. Okay, the glue is dried from me putting this on, and so now I'm going to be using this stapler, this pneumatic stapler, rather than the brad nailer, because with this I'm actually using a piece of MDF board rather than 1/4-inch plywood. Now 1/4-inch plywood is better, but because this is so small, I figure I can get away with it. But the stapler also has the nice effect of it because it's coming down, it's going to hold things in place probably a little bit better, whereas the brad nailer could potentially come loose, and that's why I'm using it. But probably just for this. So we're going to see how this works. So first things first is I'm going to put down a little bit of glue, slide it into place, and then clamp it, and then I should have my extension ready. The MDF. Place it in there. Just position it, and I am going to clamp it just on either end to at least hold it in place, because I don't want it shifting it while I have a chance to escape it. On. Got my safety goggles. I've got my safety goggles on, but I need to actually put on some safety gloves as well. All right, so we're just going to start here. There we go. Now, I am right-handed, so this is better if I do it this way. There we go. All right, so that is now that's now in place. My extension's in all set. So disconnect the air. So there we go. I now have my 6-inch extension, and so this way I can actually now start putting foam down. The track plan here is going to be altered a little bit, but I can also extend the distance out, so there's more here. But all it needs is I'm going to be just adding some extension pieces both here and roughly the same place on the other side, and that allows me to come out here, add a little bit more scenery, and there's enough room for the industries that that I want to put in place just by adding 6 inches onto this. So I'm quite pleased with that. So there we go. So I hope you found this helpful. If you're looking for more tips on how to make the most out of your painting and weathering projects, then please hit subscribe and that little bell icon, and you can be notified anytime I upload a new video. Also, if you haven't already, please check out the other videos on this channel, especially the Weathering Basics playlist. You can also check out the links down below for some links of the products that you've seen in this video. Plus, so you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter for daily weathering tips, as well as my brand new Instagram account where I post a couple of teaser pictures of upcoming projects. So thanks for watching. Good luck, and may you keep on track.